Well, everyone, it's time for us to go ahead and compare the AirPods Pro's second generation and the AirPods second generation, so the AirPods 2s. Now, both these AirPods are completely different, but they're also, there's a lot of overlap too. If you want to pick up either one of these headphones, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, the very interesting overlap between these two is that Apple is currently selling both of these brand new. So the AirPods 2s that came out back in 2019, these are selling for $129. The AirPods Pro's second generation are selling for $249. So this is a slight difference. Like, it's not anything super crazy, but for an extra, $100 and a little bit more than $100, you're getting a substantially better pair of AirPods with a longer runway in terms of how long you can use them than the standard AirPods. But even with me saying that out loud, there are a lot of reasons why I would rather pick up the AirPods 2s than the AirPods Pro 2s, in my opinion. Now, with the outside, the styling of the cases are a little bit different. So the AirPods Pro 2s, they come in like a little bit more of a wider case. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. Like, I kind of like them like this. The AirPods 2s come in a little bit more of a slimmer case. They both come in the same white color, so there's not any other colors you can choose from. You can engrave on both, which is nice. But beyond both, I feel like even if you were to slant the AirPods 2's case over a little bit, it still wouldn't be at the same caliber of the AirPods Pro 2's. They're just in a bigger, more heavier casing. So that's probably one thing to keep in mind. They both have lightning ports at the bottom, and they both have the little reset button on the back. But even within the outside case, there's already some cool advantages for the AirPods Pro 2's. These actually have a built-in speaker on the bottom of these. Now, these aren't, for you to listen to music and all this stuff from the speaker. It's mostly so, if you're going through, I'm sure somebody's going to mod them to be able to do that, but it's mostly just to go ahead and if you're trying to find them on the Find My app, they can start making sounds and stuff. The AirPods Pro 2's have that capability. The AirPods 2's, on the other hand, don't really have it. So that is really the main difference. You're also getting the lanyard little thing on the side where you can go and put in a lanyard if you want to on the side of it. I think that's cool too. Again, I'm probably never going to do it, but it is a cool thing that you have that capability. So in terms of the outside, that kind of covers it up there. Maybe the only other thing is, depending on which AirPods 2s you get, either you get that charging LED indicator on the front or you don't, and or you do or do not get wireless charging, depending if you get the wireless charging case. So not every AirPods 2s has that capability unless you were to buy that wireless charging case. The AirPods Pro's second generation, though, have that type of capability built in. So that's probably another thing to keep in mind. Now, with the AirPods themselves, when you take them outside of the casing, there's also some bigger differences. And this is actually why I may go for the AirPods 2s. So with the AirPods 2s, they don't have any tips that you can interchange or anything like that. They literally just go inside of your ear, and that is it. One size fits all, and that is how those kind of interact with your earbuds, or with your ears in general. Now, with the AirPods Pro 2s, these actually have those interchangeable tips at the end. So what you can do is, let's say you don't like how these specific tips hold up in your ear, we can go and interchange them. I've seen a lot of people, change them out if they're working out. They'll go and put in a different set of AirPods or those separate tips inside of their ears. If they get worn out, if they break, if anything happens, you have that ability where you can go and change them out on your AirPods Pro 2s. So I think that is a really cool thing. Now, where I come into play is basically, I'm not really too fond of the Pro 2s or even the AirPod 3s, and that's because they don't fit in my ear that well. The only AirPods that fit in my ear are the original AirPods and the AirPods 2s. I still, to this day, I own all these AirPods. I pretty much go to my AirPods 2s whenever I need to use wireless headphones. In fact, I pretty much go for my EarPods, more so the wired ones. But whenever I use these, whenever I'm using a pair of AirPods, it's usually the AirPods 2s because these other AirPods don't fit in my ear. Even though I interchange the tips, they just don't fit that well. So if you're somebody like me who has like weirder style ear holes, then probably the AirPods 2s may actually end up being the better one for you. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. Now, some key features that the AirPods Pro 2s have that these standard AirPods don't actually have is, for one, you have active noise cancellation on those specific AirPods. So that in and of itself is really cool. What that basically means is, if you're going around, let's say you live in a city and there's a bunch of noise around you, well, you can turn on noise cancellation and it'll go ahead and drown out all that sound around you, basically with like white noise. And if you're listening to music, it's actually, going to protrude the music out to you better than if you didn't have it. Now, that is a really awesome thing. But you also have this thing called adaptive transparency mode with the AirPods Pro 2s. So let's say you want to actually be able to hear everything around you. Well, then you can enable a transparency mode, and it's going to basically, with the microphones built in, it's going to feed you basically everything and all the sounds around you. So it's almost like you don't even have headphones on, or it's like you have headphones, but you can listen to things outside and within your, the music as well. But I will tell you, with the AirPods 2s, because of the fitting in them, because they're not like the tightest fit in the world, it's almost like if you were listening to music standard on your AirPods 2s, it's almost like the transparency mode on the AirPods Pro 2s. So it is a feature for the Pro 2s, but I will tell you that does drain battery on the 2s, where the kind of non-feature with the AirPods 2s, it actually kind of gives you that same type of feeling, which is very interesting. So it's not a big deal, but it's one of those things to keep in mind. Now, you actually do not have any type of spatial audio with the AirPods 2s either. So that's probably something to keep in mind. Spatial audio with dynamic head tracking, it basically is as like if you're listening to a song or a music or like a video or something and you're moving your head, it's almost like the sound is moving with your head. It's like the sound is staying consistent in that same area. So it's a very interesting thing. I don't know the best way to describe it, but that is another feature that's kind of going for the Pro 2s as well. Again, not a crazy big deal, but it is one of those things. Now, also, you are getting a more durable type of casing as well. So with the AirPods Pro 2s, you have sweat and you have water resistance within that specific charging case. With the standard AirPods 2s, you don't really have that. Now, I've been using my AirPods 2s for a few years now. Nothing as crazy has happened. I mean, they've been in my book bag. I've worked out with them. Nothing has broken, and there's been I probably even spilled water on them. Nothing has happened, but that doesn't necessarily mean nothing won't happen to you. If you're always around bodies of water, or if you're working out and you sweat a lot like I do, well then it may make a little bit more sense to buy the Pro 2s, but I personally haven't had that many problems with my AirPods second generation, and those are release week AirPods 2s from 2019, and they're still working fine. So not too many problems there in my opinion either. Now you also have the H chips inside of all these AirPods. So you have the H1 chip in the AirPods 2s, but you have the H2 chip on the AirPods Pro 2s, which is probably going to give you a much better experience overall. They're going to be better in everything, which is nice, but it is still cool that you have a newer upgraded chip on the AirPods Pro 2s than on the AirPods 2s. Now, in terms of battery life, you are also getting, at least, from Apple, a better battery life on the AirPods Pro 2s. Now, this really just depends on how much you're using the AirPods on both, but the main thing is if you're having noise cancellation on and like transparency mode on, all those things, that can obviously take a bigger toll on the battery than if you just listen to music, just from the standard way. So that might be something else you want to keep in mind. If you want to get a set of AirPods that are going to have the longest battery life, maybe the Pro 2s are going to be the better ones for you. And I have seen, from Apple, they state there's more than 24 hours of listening time with a charging case for the AirPods 2s, but with the AirPods Pro 2s, it's up to 30 hours. So that might be another advantage for the Pro 2s as well. And that kind of covers up all the differences. Now, if I were you, I would probably end up buying if you have the money, I would just go for the Pro 2s. I would just see if they fit in my ear, because these are the ones that are going to last the longest amount of time. I'm sure the AirPods 2s are still going to be sold for a bit of time as well, but if you can, I would just recommend going for the Pro 2s and just seeing if they fit in your ear, if you have a good experience with them. And if you can, dude, I don't know anybody who hates their AirPods Pros that fit in their ear. I'm the only one that I know of, like personally, that don't really use my AirPods Pros because they just can't fit in my ear that well. They always fall out. So if you experience that issue, then I would just recommend jumping to the AirPods 2s. You're still getting a very good experience. You're missing some features here and there, but it's still a good experience. If you want, you can get the AirPods Maxes, and those are like the best ones you can get. But regardless, I would probably just recommend going for the Pro 2s. If they fit in your ear, then just keep them. They're going to last a long time. But if they don't, you still have the AirPods 2s waiting for you there. Just in case those don't fit, you can always go for the cheaper AirPods, return those original ones, and then live happily ever after. So that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, help me so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.